Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel Biodiversity and Conservation. I am Subhalakshmi Rawat from Ambika Prasad Research Foundation, India, and we are continuing our series on UGC NET examination for environmental science subject, and this is 8th part of Unit 3 Environmental Biology. Today we are going to discuss about the models of energy flow in ecosystem. As we have discussed earlier about energy flow in ecosystem, energy flow is unidirectional and um, they are non-cyclic, and the transfer of energy takes place from one step to another on the basis of the trophic levels. So there were some models given uh, which represents the flow of energy through an ecosystem diagrammatically. And some of the main models were single channel energy flow model, Y-shaped or double channel energy flow model, universal energy flow model. We are going to discuss one by one. So a single channel energy flow model. This model actually gives a basic idea about the unidirectional flow of energy through a single channel of producers to herbivores and then to carnivores. Here actually we will see that the energy captured by autotrophs does not revert back to the sun but passes to the herbivores, and that which passes to herbivores does not go back to autotrophs but passes on to the next trophic level, that is to consumers. So due to this one-way flow of energy, the entire system would collapse if the primary source of energy were cut off. Means if there will be no sun, then the energy from sun will not be captured by autotrophs, and thus the successive steps will not be completed, and the cycle will or the flow of energy will collapse, which will lead to death of all the organisms. And at each trophic level, there occurs some progressive decrease in energy, which is due to loss of energy as heat because of the metabolic reactions like respiration and all, which consumes a lot of energy. So this gives the decrease in energy at each trophic level, and only some part of the energy is used by the organisms at each trophic level. So this is the diagrammatic representation of the single channel energy flow model, where the solar and autotrophs get solar energy from sun, and the energy which is then passed to herbivores, but not all energy is used by the herbivores. Some is reflected by is given back to the space which are not utilized, and some are given out mm, due to respiration, and some are given out to the decomposers. So in this way, the energy is passed on to the successive trophic levels. Here actually we will also see that uh, the efficiency of energy capture of autotrophs is only 0.1%, and um, there is actually a depiction from this model is that much more energy is available for herbivory than it is actually consumed by herbivores. Means the autotrophs have a large amount of energy within itself, but all the energy is not used by the herbivores. Some are like it's shown here, some are um, decomposed when the plants die. So that energy is given to the decomposers, and then some energy is lost due to respiration. And the second one is that much of the energy of autotrophs, that is gross productivity, is lost by various pathways like decomposition, not utilization of the energy, and through respiration. And a herbivore carnivore transfer level, at that level, there is actually more efficient utilization of energy than that which occurs at the autotroph herbivore transfer level. Means there is more transfer of energy when a carnivore consumes the herbivore than when the herbivore consumes autotroph. Because it's basic knowledge that autotrophs will have so much more amount of energy. Not all can be transferred to the herbivores. But when a carnivore eats a herbivore, it eats its whole body. So it gets more energy from herbivore. And so next one is Y-shaped or double channel energy flow model. In this model, actually, we have um, given place to decomposers also, and it shows a common boundary, and the light and heat flow is also shown in this model with import, export, and storage of organic matter also is shown in this model. It actually follows the basic stratified structure of ecosystems, means it follows the trophic level system of ecosystem. And here in this double channel energy flow model, it separates two chains, that is grazing and detritus food chain, in both time and space. And uh, it the macro consumers or um, the consumers and micro consumers differ greatly in size to metabolism relations and in techniques required for study. So this also shows about the macro and micro consumers and their size to metabolism relation in this model. And in the marine ecosystem, actually, the grazing food chain is the major pathway of energy flow, whereas in the forest ecosystem, the detritus food chain is more important. And we will discuss why it's so. In grazing chain, herbivores feed on living plants and therefore um, directly affect the plant population, but the decomposers eat the dead or decaying parts of plants, so they do not directly influence the rate of supply of their food. So in actually um, heavily grazed pasture or grassland, um, more percentage of net production actually passes down to the grazing path only. But in aquatic ecosystems, um, there are more number of detritus systems, because all food are not eaten by the grazers, and whichever part of the plant are eaten by grazers are not actually digested and absorbed by the body. So some undigested material is given out. So those undigested materials are consumed by the detritivores, and uh, so the in the ecosystem there is actually requirement of both the type of organisms, and in marine ecosystem, zooplanktons who feed on phytoplanktons, they actually have excess amount of ingested food, which goes to the detritus food chain, and this actually also shows that both the food chains are not completely isolated from each other. They are dependent on each other, because if the dead bodies of small animals that were once part of the grazing food chain will mm, will not be recycled through detritus food chain, then um, there will be lumping of those dead bodies in the um, ocean floor, and which will cause pollution and all those bad effects for our water. And the only difference is that both the cycles cannot perform simultaneously. So there is some time lag between these two cycles. And this is the graphical representation where the plants get their energy from sun, and it is diversified into two ways, through grazing food chain. The plants are eaten up by the herbivores, and herbivores are consumed by predators, and this shows the grazing food chain. But in case of detritivores, the detritivores consume the dead and decaying matter of the plants, which are consumed by predators. Um, and this shows the detritus food chain. But there can be interlinking also, because the herbivores are also eaten by predators, and the detrivores are also eaten up by predators. So the predators form the connecting link between both the chains. Now the last one is universal energy flow model. Here actually Odom proposed this model, where this model applies to any living component, may it be plant, animal, or microorganism, or individual, or population, or trophic species. So this model actually used to depict a single food chain, or can also show the bioenergetics of an entire ecosystem, and the energy ingested by the organisms at each trophic level is reduced due to respiration and excretion. So there is less availability of there is availability of less energy for consumption by the next trophic level. Um, and we know this through the 10% law, because um, as the plants get the energy from sun, the plants only take up 1% of the solar energy, and from plants 10% is absorbed by the next level, that is primary consumers. Then from primary consumers, the secondary consumers will get only 10% of the energy of the primary consumer, and so on. And this is the model. Here actually you will see that um, the biomass, here the biomass actually represents the living structure, um, and biomass can be measured as living weight, or dry weight, or ash free weight, and they are measured in terms of calories. So The biomass takes the energy, that is the input or ingested energy from light, that is sunlight, for autotrophs and organic matter for heterotrophs. So not all the input that we get from the sun is transformed. So some of it are actually passed through the biological structure and ingested from the digestive tract without being metabolized. So in that way only, when light passes through the vegetation without being fixed or without the photosynthesis, then we call that as not utilized energy. So here you will see that so the input or ingested energy which are not used are um given out by which are not used are thrown out, or it passes out from the biomass without being used. So this arrow shows that. And then the portion that is utilized or assimilated through the biomass gives us the gross production. And in higher animals, the term metabolized energy is used. And then in this model, actually, the key features are the production and respiration. So the part of the fixed energy, that is the assimilated energy, which is burnt and lost as heat, is called respiration, which is also given out by the biomass. And the part of the fixed energy which is transformed to new or different organic matter, that is the production. This is the net production in plants and secondary production in animals. And the ratio between these components like production and respiration gives us the efficiency of assimilation. Now, in case of um, detritus feeding animals, or in case of light fixation by plants, this ratio, production by respiration ratio, is very low. But in case of animals or bacteria feeding on high energy food like sugar and amino acid, this P by R ratio is very high. So now we know that the production is the net production by the plants. So this production energy can be used for three purposes, that is growth, storage, or excretion. Gro Growth means addition of biomass. Then E mean this excretion actually means that the assimilated organic matter is thrown out from the biomass or the body. And the storage depicts that the portion of production which is necessary for the future input of the new energy, or the storage actually provides the energy to the next trophic level. So here it's actually a schematic diagram for some efficiencies. As we got to know that the Lindman actually gave this um, schematic diagram. He actually said that the transferring of energy from one trophic level to another involves many processes, and it happens in some consecutive steps. So the gross primary production by the plants, when is the value where the autotrophs capture the energy from the sun, but the actual amount of energy which can be fixed, which is fixed and used by the plants, is the net primary production. And when it is ingested by the animals or the consumers, um, that is ingestion. After ingestion, there is some amount is thrown out by the body, which is defecation, and which are absorbed by the body is assimilation. So after assimilation, the energy that is produced inside the body of the animal is gross secondary production, and from that we get net secondary production, and due to respiration and excretion some energy is lost. So here we get the exploitation efficiency by dividing food ingested by available net production into 100. We will get the exploitation efficiency. And in case of assimilation efficiency, it will be food assimilated or digested by food ingested into 100 will give the assimilation efficiency. And the net production efficiency is when we divide net secondary production by food assimilation into 100, we will get this net production efficiency. And ecological efficiency, which is Lindman's efficiency. It is different for plants, herbivores, and primary consumers. And it can be that the rate of assimilation by plants by solar uh, influx energy into 100 will give ecological efficiency for plants. And the Lindman efficiency for herbivores, it will be rate of assimilation by herbivores by gross productivity of plants into 100. And Lindman efficiency of primary consumers is calculated by uh, dividing rate of assimilation of primary consumers by rate of assimilation of herbivores into 100. So this much is from me today. Thank you.